Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Really excited to talk some UT football today. A lot of momentum going on in this program. Can't wait to break some things down with you guys. But first, make sure you guys are subscribing on all social media platforms. Can't stress this enough. Trying to grow the nature of this program and whatnot, and want to make sure that, like I said, we're going to be curating some different things on different platforms. We have over 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, but we have like 100 people on Twitter, 100 people on Facebook, and like 400 people on Instagram. So let's try to get those numbers up. Make sure you hit up those links in the description box and show me some love. Now, to the important business. The other day, big news, Larry Fedora being brought in as an analyst on Tom Herman's staff, former head coach of University of North Carolina. And, obviously our beloved Mac Brown has taken over for him as he only won 5 games the last 2 years. But in an analyst role, former head coach, very excited about this. Guys, Larry Fedora is a highly regarded offensive mind in college football. He's been one of the great architects in the last 10 years with the spread offense. The proof is in the pudding with what he did with Mitchell Trubisky, Marquise Williams, Ryan Switzer, all those guys at North Carolina when he really had weapons. I know things didn't really come through with Chaz Surratt and the guys he had after Mitch, but, he's been very successful at Southern Miss, very successful at North Carolina. Really happy to have him on board in the analyst role. I really think schematically, and I've already been exchanging some emails and stuff with some of you guys. Schematically, huge deal for us. As successful as we were last season and how close we came to winning the Big 12 and the breakout performances of Sam Ellinger and Lil Jordan Humphrey, our offense wasn't great. There is room for improvement in a lot of ways from a playmaking standpoint. That's why we were so excited about addressing some of the speed concerns in this recruiting class, but also from a play design standpoint, how certain guys are utilized. I know we had some issues early in the season, even with rotations of players, as the coaches were trying to get their feet under them as well. I don't know how many videos I say this on. For as good as we played, we didn't have a play over 50 yards offensively, all these things. So I say all that to say um, more hands, all hands on deck with this offense. And the more people available that can come and help us, the more minds we can have in the room. It's very beneficial. This is the type of move that a Nick Saban would make at Alabama. Look at the schools that you continuously see in playoff contention. They have massive staffs, massive brain trust. Because that's the way I look at these analysts is as a brain trust. There were some really creative things Larry Fedora did with his running backs in the pass game that I think could help Tim Beck and Tom Herman. And Tom Herman, one thing I'm starting to really learn from him as he's been here in this going on 3 years. He's a student of the game from a standpoint of going to sit at the feet of other coaches, putting his pride aside, and learning something that he can go and implement into his scheme, into his development program. And I think that's going to be really, really key and beneficial, not just with Larry Fedora coming on board, but potentially David Beaty as well. Now, I know many of you guys are excited about David Beaty coming on board because of what he can bring from a recruiting element in the DFW area. We are starting to get a lot of momentum going up there as well with the Duncanville kids. Rashad Samples being on our staff with Brian Carrington is also a big proponent of that, as his father, Samples' father, is the head coach at Duncanville. So all these things it's just like a perfect storm right now at UT. And I'm very, very excited. This is probably the most excited I've been going into spring ball in a long time. I can't remember, to be honest with you. Just the nature, the way our coaching staff continues to grow from an analytical standpoint, but we still have the consistency with the staff, but adding people. Because one of the things is when you don't have turnover as a coaching staff, that's great, and it's great for the kids, but sometimes you don't get those fresh ideas when somebody else can come on board. these analysts are going to come in and give us those fresh ideas and give us a different perspective, just like David Beaty came in last year and said, hey, this is how we schemed against you guys. Just learning these little intricacies that could help us win a football game down the road. Hey, it may not be beneficial for the first 8 games, but there could be something he sees that's the difference between us winning the Big 12 championship and us only winning 10 games again. Because our goal now is to win the Big 12, bottom line. That's what we're shaping up. That's where the momentum's headed. That's where recruiting is headed. Look how we've gotten off to a fast start with this 2020 class. I know we only have 5 players currently committed, but the momentum we have going with Zachary Evans, as he's now vaulted to the #1 overall player according to 24/7 Sports, and then on top of that, Mookie Cooper committing from Missouri. So we're continuing our momentum out of state. I know, again, some of y'all don't like that, but it is what it is. We're getting playmakers. Another explosive guy coming in, courtesy relationship with guys like a Brian Carrington, guys like Stan Drayton. So just really impressed with this staff, and the work that they've been doing. The program overall, the momentum. When we talk about Zachary Evans, they're checking the boxes on his wish list. One of the things that his camp has been very vocal about is making sure the offensive line is A1. And look at the 5 kids, 3 of them are offensive linemen. Garf was the other one that committed this past weekend. So you got 3 guys coming in, plus the 3 or 4 guys we had in this previous recruiting class and them loading up before. So we're creating a nice little stable of guys that can develop. And then on top of that, Herb Hand's presence. I mean, look at all these coaches we're talking about here. Herb Hand's presence with not only signing these guys, but they're still in the market and trying to recruit grad transfers. And look, guys like Denzel Okafor and some of these guys that have been in the program a little bit longer, it's now or never. So if they don't like what they see in spring ball, they're going to go and get somebody that can play right away until the puppies are up to speed, like the Tyler Johnsons and some of those other guys ready to go, Reese Moore and some of the other folks. But with what they're developing here in our program, and this is where I would love for you guys to chime in, some of you recruiting nuts, as well as folks who may be more familiar with Larry Fedora's work and even David Beaty, just the overall momentum that is brewing in this program, led by Tom Herman. Have to give him credit for getting these guys on staff. It's a recruiting play. I'm sure Larry Fedora Texas wasn't the only school that contacted Larry Fedora. I'm sure in David Beaty's case, we're not the only school contacting him. So Tom Herman is winning in the relationship game right now, and he's, again, like I said, he's trying to build up these pipelines and build up the momentum and doing what he needs to do. So when we get into spring ball, there's one mission at hand, is to secure the Big 12 championship. Unfinished business from last year, and couldn't be more excited about it. So things to come that I want to discuss. Draft prospects for some of our UT guys, just kind of going over. That's a video I'm probably going to do with John, to be honest, and we just do a full-blown draft for breakdown for our guys, especially with the combine coming, starting up at the 1st of March. Really excited about that. And yeah, it's just, I know it's been a little bit slower with news from college football perspective, but as things continue to break, we'll stay on top of it. I appreciate, again, all the emails, messages, comments. It's been, wonderful talking with you guys and continuing this conversation in the offseason. Hopefully we can get another live chat going as well on YouTube. So appreciate you guys. Again, hit us up in the comments. Curious to hear everybody's thoughts on Larry Fedora now being on board and potentially David Beaty to follow. Appreciate you guys. Horns always up. Hook 'em.